Guys, what's going on? Joshua Buatsi beats Periban, knocks him out in the 4th round. I thought, Periban was giving Joshua Buatsi a little bit of trouble. Joshua Buatsi was, sussing him out. But, Periban was never going to be able to win the fight. It was never going to be a fight. I knew Periban's quite an experienced guy who was going to give Buatsi a little bit of trouble. But, I knew Buatsi would come through. Periban hasn't fought for 2 years. The stamina, just the sharpness wouldn't be there for Periban. And Buatsi did what he had to do. It was a nice little step up for Joshua Buatsi. It would have helped if Periban was more active. Maybe it would have gone a few more rounds. But Buatsi's a hot talent. He's a very, very good fighter. A guy that, Eddie Hearn's are very excited about. A lot of the British fans are very excited about him. He's a good fighter, don't get me wrong. I want to see him tested now a little. I would like to see him in a competitive, domestic fight, like maybe Jose Burton, maybe Anthony Yard. If it seems like the Yard and Kovalev fight may be cancelled. If it is, the Buatsi fight's a perfect fight to make. Now, I think it's a great fight. I think that's a potentially, a fight that needs to be made. Buatsi and Yard, that's going to be a huge fight. We don't know how good Yard is. We know Buatsi's obviously a glittered amateur, and he would have the upper hand on if you look at it from that. But you would probably say Yard is a bit more experienced professional. However, we just don't know how good Yard is. Yard might be exceptional. We just don't know. Eddie Hearn obviously believes in Buatsi and thinks he's going to go all the way. I still want to see Buatsi tested. I think Jose Burton is a good test. I think, can we put Buatsi in there with, what's his name? Callum Johnson. I think that's a bit dangerous right now. I think that may be too early. It's a bit of a risk putting Buatsi in there with Callum Johnson. It's a very tricky fight. But, Buatsi today showed that, he's calm. He's collected. At times, against Periban, he was loading up a bit too much. But, he got the job done. I thought it was a bit of a premature stoppage, if I'm honest with you. I think the referee could have let the fight go on. But I think the reason why the referee stopped it is because he knew that there was only going to be one winner. Buatsi was going to win the fight. So there's no point of a guy that's in a fight that's not really going to win in Periban. Why let the fight go on and let him take more of a beating? Periban obviously wasn't happy. He felt like he could have gone on. But I just think there was no point because, he was going to get beat. Eventually, it would have been. I want to see Buatsi tested. I want to see Buatsi in a fight where he potentially could lose, and that's what makes it exciting. I think Buatsi's a very exciting talent, very good fighter, but he needs to be pushed into a fight now where it's a competitive fight where there's a chance he could lose as well. I think Callum Johnson would be a great step up. The Yard fight's not going to happen, and people would say the Yard fight is just as tough as Callum Johnson. Eddie Hearn might not think so because Eddie Hearn might think Callum Johnson is better than Anthony Yard. However, Anthony Yard is challenging for a world title against Kovalev, and so has Johnson has challenged for a world title. Now, we don't know how good Yard is because he hasn't fought for a world title. Callum Johnson gave Beterbiev trouble. I want to see. Eddie Hearn thinks that Joshua Buatsi could win a world title right now. If he thinks he could beat he thinks he could beat Beterbiev right now. I disagree. If he thinks that he can beat Beterbiev right now, then why not stick him in with Callum Johnson? You know that you're confident that he beats the world champions. Callum Johnson is below the world champions. He got beat by the world champions. So why not put him in there with Callum Johnson? But obviously Eddie Hearn is trying to build Joshua Buatsi. So will he want to take that risk right now? I think it's a perfect fight for both. Whether Johnson wants that fight, I'm not sure because it might be a step back for Johnson. Johnson might want to go and fight, for a world title. I just think the fight makes sense, if I'm honest with you. I think both of them are great fights. I think both of them may be paid well for the fight. I think it's a good, domestic scrap. And I like good domestic fights. So I think that's a fight that Eddie Hearn should definitely look at. I think it's a great fight for the fans. I think stylistically, both of them are going to bring the heat. And we're going to be, as fans, we're going to be introduced to, or we're going to have a great fight on our hands. So that's why I want to see that fight. But let's see whether they make it. Let's see if they're able to make Yard. Let's see what they do with Joshua Buatsi and whether they're able to stick him in with somebody that's going to actually give him a tough test. Yes, Periban was a step up, but he was never going to win the fight. I want to see somebody that's coming, that has a chance to win, you know, that is going to be competitive, that has a chance to win, where it's a 50-50 matchup now. I think Buatsi's at that stage where you can stick him in there. You know, he had a very extensive amateur background, and he's a good pro. He's been in there with some decent fighters, and I think it's time to throw him in. But leave your thoughts, guys. Let me know what you thought of his performance. And guys, remember to please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in the next video.